What is up, everybody? This is Tikwa, also known as Richard, and I'm going back to you with a casted game. Finally, after about a good 4 or 5 months of being out of the scene, I do apologize for that. I was moving countries, guys, so it's been a tough time. You can see right now we're playing some RUS, and this was actually the game I played going into platinum. I haven't been involved in or part of all the changes and stuff that's been happening. Delhi's got a new unit, and there's just so much going on. And apparently, there's a different streamer mode. I don't even know how to access that. I think it was something this side. I'm not sure. Or you should select it in the beginning. I know I've casted a game like that in the past. And also, just a heads up, where I moved in, there is a little bit of construction going on still. So there we go, caster mode, there we go. Now you guys can see all the research when I do the research. So what I chose to do is go a little bit different. Quick tip, I would like you guys to hide your match history just to avoid happening what just happened. I wonder if you can mute these wolves. I think you can. I'll have a look at that. Sorry about the loud noise. But so what we're doing is we went for the strategy tree right here. You can see I used about 104, 105 wood. I would argue that 6 villagers, 2 drop-offs is probably the new strategy that I want to play with, specifically in Platinum League. The reason why I'm saying that is you technically have an extra villager with your scout, and what you can see is I got 7 deer here, 2 wolves, so that's 50 plus 70 plus another 25 that I'm getting right here, and finished the hunting cabinet, and now the next scout is out here. So technically you have 2 extra villagers because they're gathering gold and doing, you remember, a villager drops off 10 resources, right? So that's 2 shots, 10 resources, 2 shots, 10 resources. The cost of it is a scout. So 1 deer pack, and you've already repaid a scout. So that's why you want to go double scout as the RUS, because financially or eco-wise, it is definitely worth it. Keybinds, 3 for my 1 scout, 1 for my other scout. Town center, 2 or H. It just allows you to jump between, your scout and your buildings quite quickly. You can see he's going for a very, very quick age up. So this is not good. He's pulling villagers off of the gold, putting it right here. You would rather want to place that here if you wanted to pull gold villagers. But the other thing is there's also not a lot of sheep here. The sheep is all staggered out. And he's also not going into farms. English is in a weird meta right now. I think they are really strong. You do not want to go late game against the English, but I kind of expected the English to come late game. So you can see what I did was on the resources, I went on food. You can see we're on 7 on food right now. A little bit of idle time right here. Beautiful. You can see my lack of microing happening right here. I even ran the sheep past the base here without dropping them off, but now you can see I'm slowly moving villagers over to the sheep. I built an early wooden fortress on my gold because my gold was in a weird position. If my gold was back here or even right here, this would still be the place where I want to go for the Kremlin. The only time I don't feel like going for the Kremlin is against factions like the Delhi, because they go for 2TC and then you want to buy the stone, rather than going 2TC with your eco, because they will out eco you in that regard. So it's better to go for 2TC in this way. So you can see I'm gathering some extra wood just so I can slowly start transitioning either into wood or gold. And we are also, going from our perspective, just checking what they are doing, and you can see now most of the sheep and everything is killed. We are just double checking, what exactly is happening. You'll see the age up 4 minutes 32 for him, and we're not far behind. It's 5 minute age up. That's not the point here. The point is you are playing a adaptive game depending on what your enemy is doing, and that's what I found the strength of the RUS player is right now. So your early game, you can probably not. I wonder if they give you the bounty. you can't see it, the bounty here. So if we go back to the normal mode, we can actually see I'm on 215 bounty. But the reason why that's not a big concern, you'll hit the tier 2 bounty primarily if you do a boar, or secondly, if you go into the age 3 landmark, you can get that extra bounty. You can see he did deny some bounty here and here, so that's good. There's another wolf. There's another wolf there. You know, so there's a lot of extra wolves around, especially around sacred sites. There should be more. Um, there's no wolves back here. So that's an extra 50, but that's still, oh, that would actually have put me in the right position to get the tier 2. So when you get the tier 2, you're 10% extra food gathering rate, and your hunting cabinets produce extra gold, okay? So what I've seen is some people make hunting cabinets more than one. I find that very resource heavy to do that. We'll go back into the caster mode just because it's beautiful. That's what people are getting used to right now. And what you see is I have scouted this out, by the way. I did see that very early. You'll see my scout is moving in that direction to kind of see and spot where they are. But if you look at my base, if you want to try and attack this base, I have a wooden fortress on my gold. I have the Kremlin, which is going to deny any attack through here. This is a lot of damage on the Kremlin, 12 bow, 8 tower range, really large radius that allows this to, you know, defend. Another thing I want to quickly show you guys as he's running in here, you shouldn't be scared of catching your opponent off guard, and usually what a lot of people do is they'll get your attention with like a scout or something. But I saw him with the wooden fortress moving in here after he's already turned back, but he saw the wooden fortress and retreated. So I'm playing response or reacting to what I'm seeing on his side. You can see my one scout is up here, so every now and then I see the blacksmith. I can't see the recess obviously, but I can see he did drop a blacksmith, so there is a chance of being rushed. And then my second scout is all the way over here, just having a look at what he's doing every now and then, popping forward. And then you'll see very shortly, I'll move my scout down. But we are going very heavily into wood because another thing that I saw is I actually did see the stone. I think I can see all the way to here. I'm not 100% sure, but I see the stone, and instead of going now, you're already behind if someone is already on stone. So I took a market, and you'll see very shortly, because I'm quite over on gold, I am expecting a feudal game. You know, 10 or 20 resources on platinum level, it's not the end of the game. You know, there's a lot of lenience with regards to that. You know, we're not perfect players. We do a lot of things wrong. You can see I also see the army coming through here with the Kremlin, and immediately I put up the wooden fortress. It takes a while to build a wooden fortress, 2000 HP. You can see I pulled 8 villagers to rush them. This is about, you know, 10-15 seconds to get this wooden fortress up with 8 villagers. So you'll see the damage going out soon. There's one volley, second volley, and I tried garrisoning it, and I think I lost 1 villager. I had 8, now I have 7. But he loses his scout, so that's 60. Is he gonna get another one? No, we didn't get the spearman, but that's 60. And we have some archers being produced just to garrison if needed and give us that extra protection so we don't have to use stone. So there you can see it's 170. So it's to buy it, it's 174 gold to buy 100 stone, right? So it's expensive. It's almost double, right? But on a timing window, you're gonna see why this is important. Because I bought only 100 stone for the sake of giving me the opportunity to upgrade to arrow slits if needed, if there's extra pressure coming out. And you can see my scout is moving back, trying to see if I can, you know, spot this out. Just keeping an eye on the villagers and what's happening here at the back, and seeing if he is moving into any extra direction. Nice little farm placements here, and one out of position there. What we are doing now, you can see very secure gold, very secure wood line on this side, and we have the Kremlin. So on a defense side of things, we are ready to defend because he's going to do spearmen archers. Even if he does men at arms early on, the amount of damage you're going to get out with this, and just microing your spearmen if he starts heavily going into a feudal fight, you'll be able to maintain that, and you're sitting on, yeah, 37 population against 44, so he's quite a bit ahead. You know, I have had downtime on this. My scouts back at the base bought some extra sheep back, and one thing I want to quickly show you with the keybinds, you can see keybind halfway, boom, move them out. If you do stuff like this and you want to catch someone out that's just hovering their scout, don't attack like that from range. Run up to almost on top of him, and then you use the ability, because that allows you to you know, get that extra spear attacks in, that extra volley, and you're going to guarantee the kill. He has the scout now here, and I'm moving forward with my scout. I am aware that he is trying to play a feudal fight, so the scout's going to take damage here, immediately turning around and just moving away. And I have archers being produced, so I'm respecting his army, not to, you know, put myself at risk, but all I'm doing is I'm allowing myself to build up resources and just allow the unit production. Oh, by the way, that's what I did with the stone. I used gold, very expensive, by the way. So almost 600 gold to buy the stone that I need. I think I did it 4 times, so that's 800 gold that I used to buy stone. And that was to get myself a second town center, because I know he was farming stone, which means he was going for a second town center. And that just allows me to stay on top of things and play in the right defensive manner, right? So now we have 8 archers here. We know it's spearmen and archers, longbowmen. So longbowmen 7 damage, and 6 versus light melee infantry. We have 5 damage, and 5 plus 5 versus light melee infantry, so spearmen, right? So this is not a fight to, you know, win. This is just to stop the numbers from massing, because if there's like 20 or 30, it's going to make a big difference. And all I'm doing is just playing on the enemy's tempo to see what they're doing, and playing at a tempo that I feel is comfortable. Look at this mass that's right here. If this was trying to push in right now, you could probably, you know, try and come around here, harass from this side, force someone to spend some resources, or, you know, come on the wood line here and try and get a shot off. But that is quite a wide radius, and you can get the arrow slits, so there's a lot of ways to defend this. And this is kind of where the game takes a turn. So we are on gold. We are going up with a high trader house. The reason why I love the high trader house, it's free food, and you get the extra gold from that. So even though we are behind on villagers, we are getting extra villagers for the sake of the scouts that we used early on, and secondly the extra gold we are getting from the hunting cabin and the 250 bounty that we have. And even if I don't have the bounty, we can double check that quickly. 215, so I haven't chased any extra bounty right now. We're just gathering deer. You can hear me trading. You know, I'm just gonna go back into this mode. I just want to show you guys the bounty. Once this high trade house is done, you do get the 10 gold from the deer that spawns. So you know, by about the 15-minute mark, you should get the bounty naturally just by doing the normal RUS stuff. So it's not a big concern to chase down the 250, but it does make a big difference, and you can see it with the glowing villagers. That's also a bonus that you get from the wooden fortress, which means your lumber camps and town centers within influence of the wooden fortress returns 20% more wood. It's kind of like the supervision from imperial officials for the Chinese. So that makes a big difference. Okay, so now you can see we are scouting this out. My scout was here. I'm moving back. I have villager production. We are on 60, he's in 79, so 19 villager lead is big. But this is where always resources is invested, and you can see the food in gold versus the food and gold on my side. There's a very big difference, even though he has more villager, or population rather. 21 military, what is it, 31 military, 48 villagers. Sorry, we actually have a higher military production. But we know a castle age is the fight we want to take, because we have men at arms, which have the 4 melee and range armor, so that deals with any spears. And it means we can go a lot lower numbers. And you can see now, all I'm doing right here is harassing. I got 2 villagers. You can see the bodies laying around. So let's say 1, 2, maybe 3, 4. And now the archers are just going to stand here and make some chaos. And he's trying to push, but I'm distracting him because this is happening within his base. So he's causing people to have extra clicks per minute, but he could have just turned around with these villagers and killed these longbowmen because they actually do more damage to just attack a lot slower. So that's just going to distract him there. And while that's busy, we have 4 knights, and you can see this is only happening as a response to what I'm seeing, right? So there's not a fight happening as to say, like, you know, go all in. If this was a timing push, it was going to be different because you push into certain scenarios. But we played on the enemy's tempo to see kind of what was happening, and this is going to keep distracting him because you can't move into this, you can't deal with it, or he has to move back. And I choose to start this fight because it's armor units, and you can see I often do this. Military units 3, horses 4. You can see my horses gets the charge off. Then I run the horses past towards the archers at the back. The men at arms is taking all the pressure at the front, and the archers are actually focusing the longbow. So that's the best way you can deal with any fighter. It's just by microing. You can just put it on any number. Control 3, 4, or 5. So my 3 units is my men at arms, 4 units is my cavalry, and 5 is my archers, and that's his whole army gone. And my reinforcements is just dealing with the single battering. You're not going to do anything with the single battering line. If you wanted to push here, you probably had to push on gold, probably had to push on the deer, even idle villagers here. But that was a very quick way of you know, playing a responsive or a reactive game against someone like the English, which tend to rush very early on. And now we have this gigantic army pushing towards an enemy who just lost their whole army. So you know, that's when you know that the game is basically over. I don't think there was any way that he's coming back from that, but I feel like the trading is a safer option than trying to play into a game where, you know, you don't know what to expect. You even have some relics that's on their way to being picked up. So a lot of positive things, you know, the food supply and everything is working in my favor. And you can see the victories, you know, some team games that we played here. Just, I found team games is a lot easier and less stressful, but more engaging to force you to actually learn your faction and learn what units counter other units. But if you look at this, sorry, I didn't want to watch the replay again. I do apologize. Oh, actually didn't go. Cool. You can see there, that's the total unit count, how his army dropped. But the villager count, you know, we have a steady line increasing in line with what he was doing. Even against the French, it was the same thing. And on the military count, you can see how consistently we went up. And I feel this is a very stable way that you're going to win a lot more games as the RUS. Because I've been playing into Platinum just with the RUS, and I'll cast a lot more videos to show you guys exactly what I was doing, but I think that was a good example of exactly what to do. Sorry if the sound quality is not the best. Please leave a like if you enjoyed it, and let me know what exactly you want to see of the RUS. We're going to focus on them, and get your ranks in before season 4 is over. Please let me know what rank you are currently on, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much.